Welcome to Fika's Focus. Voices leading change.
Tēnā koe, Lauren.
Hey, Ray.
Okay, today we are having a yarn about StoryPark. In this, is there anything else outside of StoryPark?
Yep, so there are similar platforms.
Right, I've only just used StoryPark.
Yeah, Educator.
Oh, educator, yes. So StoryPark as a medium is like Seesaw at primary school and things. It's basically dragged ECE or dragged reporting methods into the use of technology. There are pluses and minuses to it, but as a pure means of gathering and collecting information and sharing it with whānau, it actually is quite a powerful means.
Yeah, agreed.
So just give us some background in that kind of space of what exactly your experience has been using StoryPark as an educator.
Yeah, cool. So StoryPark for me is incredible. I've had experience with a few other platforms, and StoryPark has hands down been the best platform that I've used. I don't have children, so I don't have a parent access, so I don't see what the parents see, but I do see it from an educator perspective. For me, it allows teachers to update straight away. It allows that quick update for any whānau. It could be that little Ray needed a bottle, or does little Ray need to sleep at this time? So that direct communication about care routines, but also for more structured documentation. You know, the learning journey over time and getting the engagement with the family in that way. You know, what they want for their child. We've talked about whānau aspirations. So that for us is a real crucial link together, if that makes sense.
In the ecosystem.
Yeah.
So it's important to understand that the information that comes out about your child on StoryPark, we actually really need you to comment. We love it. We love it. As educators, we love getting feedback from the whānau. Research is pretty clear that learning outcomes for children grow exponentially. The opportunity for learning to grow exponentially is highlighted by whānau input.
Yes.
And what this app is doing is is taking the learning to your spaces and saying, hey, please look at how cool my child is and how cool your child is and the effort that they are putting in to their learning. It's an important piece. So in that space, as a kaiako, how would we structure interaction over StoryPark so we're almost asking it of whānau?
So a lot of, as a kaiako, I used to include that in my documentation. Like I'd ask open-ended questions within the learning story or the learning note. Or
like has little Ray
done this at home?
Yes.
You know, you've written a learning story
is
on...
little Ray interested in trucks at home also?
Yes.
Could you show us some pictures?
Yep, absolutely. Do you bake at home? You know, there's lots of ways that you can include that. But also for us in the documentation side, it's a requirement. We're required to link prior experiences together for these tamariki to show continual growth and continual learning over time. So to connect back to home is really, really important. It also allows us to then respond to where the child is at based on what experiences are being happening at home.
And knowing that you, the whānau, are the expert in the child, essentially, it's when we say a requirement, it's not a requirement because they're like, you need to do that. There's actually massive science behind that sort of piece. But also it's understanding that the dialogue that goes on, even though your child might be a baby and there's nowhere near reading it, it actually allows us to continue to grow greater understanding of your child and their needs.
Yeah, but it also allows the child to look back when they're older, right?
Yes,
You've still got access to your children's portfolios, right?
Yeah, I'd need to say that. You never lose.
Marlo can go back and look, right?
You never actually lose access to the rights to look at your child's learning. But it continues to help us paint a picture of what the child's going through. If they're experiencing something new at home, both positive and negative, it allows whānau to give us the information that helps us increase the probability of success with that child. I think that's a very important piece.
I agree.
So also in that kaiako space, what might a typical teacher be doing outside of obviously communicating with whānau and child notes? What else does StoryPark enable us to do for us as an education sector or in the education sector?
I think quite a lot. StoryPark has so many different avenues that you can go down. Like for a teacher, our whole professional growth cycle is on there, all of our planning is on there, all of our learning outcome tracking, like where each individual child is at and how the team are responding to each individual child. I think that's quite important to point out. So it's not just what the parent sees. I mean, they see everything based on their child, but for us as educators, there's so much more to it. It's kind of like the glue that holds everything together, right? Or the web that all interlinks, that then
the ecosystem.
Then relates and puts out that learning story.
What's important to know and understand as well is that it can be like we have a lot of South African whānau, a lot of Punjabi whānau. You can actually share the link with anyone around the world.
Yeah.
So when
all of
something is
extended whānau.
uploaded, everyone gets it. It's utilising the power of social media to really reinforce that ecosystem of the whānau for each child. And we also need to say that it gives us more chance to just share all the efforts that your child is going through in the day, whether it is settling, whether it is sleeping, whether it is bottle, walking, feeling comfortable and safe and being part of a group of kids having fun and getting wet and breaking and building and posting and throwing, right? It's such a invaluable piece like that. What's one tip you could give families to help them feel comfortable to engage with what's going on in StoryPark?
I think it's quite important to point out that it is private.
Yes, great.
That the only people that can access your child's portfolio is the ones that you've allowed access.
Yes.
So we as educators can't invite anybody else bar the two parents.
Bar one, I believe.
Yes, it could be one.
No, we can only invite one, and then it's up to that person to share it with the other person.
Yeah, and then same, they can continue to share with extended whānau anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good point. It does remain private. It does. Yeah, that's quite a critical point. Okay, I think StoryPark's such a critical piece. I think it adds to the picture of what we see with your child, and as from the kaiako lens, it's such a critical part to our practice because we really do care about your child. We want to celebrate your child's efforts and continue to give you feedback on how they're going. And the beautiful thing about this app is that what it does is, especially if we have children from 6 months or maybe even younger, we can capture 4.5, 5 years of data about how well they're going.
Yeah, agreed.
It's a pretty cool spot. So if you haven't sorted out your auntie or uncle or your nana or your granddad or someone who should be on StoryPark looking at your child's portfolio, please invite them. If you need help, come out and ask, and we can show you how to do that. Otherwise, there's another Fill the Gap. Thank you very much, Lauren.
Thanks, Ray.